Yesterday we had Mr. Jeremy. That is the same fella who came out and master planned all of this, and it's worked out so good for us. Mr. Jeremy came out yesterday to help us talk about the other side of our pasture and to get us a quote. Now, we've not got the quote yet, but I will walk over at some point and show you all what his plans are, or at least some different ideas that he has. And I would love to get your opinions on that. But you know, we have us a really wonderful water source in the pond over here on this side of the pasture, but we have nothing over on the other side as far as a natural water source. There is a couple of springs, natural springs, that keep puddles of water, just little pools. But we really would like to go ahead at some point and figure out a way to develop that side of the pasture to make it look as beautiful as this side. And what it needs is some kind of a natural water source. So let's talk about that in today's video. All right, I'm walking down the hillside over on the right side of the property. And what we're trying to do is figure out a way to do a couple of things. We want to find a way to help control the erosion. It's always hard to see in video, but if you look right along this fence line over here, you can see where the rains over the course of the last couple of years have come down here at such force. And you can especially see from videos like this how much soil it has washed off of our hill. When I first put these posts in the ground, I buried them all the way to ground level. But you can easily see that there's 8 to 10 inches of soil has washed away. Here in the corner, it's even worse. It makes you really happy that you used concrete, but look at how much soil we've lost. So we have to address the erosion issue at some point. If not, it'll get so bad that my entire fence will eventually be washed down enough to where it's just going to bend over and fall over, and we cannot have that. Second problem is we would like to have a natural water source on this side of the property. So we have talked to Mr. Jeremy. He's the fella who he was the only guy who was successful at figuring out our pond situation and giving us a new spillway system, and that has worked out perfectly. So Mr. Jeremy came back out. Oh no. Guys, I may have a little bit of an issue. I have a fly swatter. This is my spanky stick that I'm carrying around with me. Easy, Rita. No, no, no. You will not go in my personal space. This is my area, sweetie. Remember my invisible wall that we talked about? It's invisible. You can't see it. Rita, I can go into your space, but you cannot come into mine, okay? That's just the way it has to be. And here's the thing, guys. She doesn't want up in my space. She does not want Donkey Dan in my space, right, sweetie? That's all it was. So here's what we're going to do. Let me show you, first of all, our biggest worry. And it's something that if we don't address soon, we're going to be in a whole world of hurt. And listen, when I say a whole world of hurt, we have a major issue. I'm going to walk right over here to the bridge that I built, the cattle guard. I call it a bridge, but it is kind of a cattle guard over here in the corner. And as I'm walking towards it, notice all of the washout that you can see from water coming off the hill. This is not safe for our babies. It doesn't give them a way to cross over from one side to the other. Sweetie, do not run up on me like that. You scare me. That does scare me. She'll walk right into my space, and not to be mean, but she doesn't know her strength. Okay, so I'm gonna have to stop my camera for a minute and make my way down. But I wanna show you all something that if we do not fix soon, we're gonna have a whole can of problem. I'll zoom into it right here. Look at all of the dirt underneath my bridge that is washed out. That is major. That's an accident waiting to happen. not for the animals, but for anyone coming up this driveway. Okay, so first things first, what I've asked of Mr. Jeremy was to give us about a 20-foot culvert or 20-foot something in this area where water coming from the other side of the property as it comes underneath my bridge, which is working out great, give us an extension of about 20 foot, which is going to be from about the driveway there, the fencing, to about here. Make it to where all of this is leveled off, fill in. It may need concrete, it may need something, but we need to fill in all of that void under right over there where all that water is backwashing. And then extend this all the way to about here, and that will give our animals, our goats, our donkeys, our pigs, anybody, even my tractor, my lawnmower, a way to come from this side straight across over to this side. Okay, that's going to be very important. That will protect my cattle guard driveway and give the animals and us access from one side of the property to the other. Okay, now starting at about here, looking down this way, what we have now is a fairly dry creek. You guys do know that we have a little bit of a leak in our pond, so water does drip down through here. Now, lately we've had rain, so you can't judge the water you see right now. It's not always that much water. But I would like Mr. Jeremy to come by through here and start digging, making it quite a bit deeper. I'm afraid he's going to take these 3 trees that you see right here will have to be out of the equation. I do think that these 3 will come down. There's an oak tree, there's a magnolia tree, and there's a pine tree. But he would be able to take these 3 trees down and create for us a nice big pond area. Now, all of the dirt that comes out of here, we have a use for. This side of the property is fine. We're not having erosion issues over here, and I'm sure because we have lots of vegetation, grass, and roots that hold things into place. But all of the dirt that he digs out, he will not have to take it off the property. Instead, he'll move that dirt over to this side of the property, and this is where he's going to have his biggest challenge, because you can sort of see all of the washing out of the water running off down the hill. And so not only will Mr. Jeremy be trying to fill in all of these void spots over here, all of the ruts, which create a lot of a dangerous situation for our animals, but he'll also more than likely have to bring in some rock, very similar to what he did on the other side of the property, and make it to where that water cannot flow down this hill quite so with such force and velocity. Moving water, y'all, rushing water is what moves dirt. And we have to find a way to have a soft flow, not a rush. And I do think that Mr. Jeremy can figure that out. So he'll fill all of this stuff over here in. The hill will stay intact. All these trees and stuff will be fine. But he will have to take out whatever dirt he digs out from here and patch up and fill in, even maybe level off where it's not quite so much of an incline, okay? Now, once we get over to this side over here, everyone knows we have a couple of natural springs, and we're going to take advantage of those natural springs. Let me show you what's going to happen. I'm also having to watch out for Rita. All right, so let's walk right over here and talk about next phase three of our project. As I'm walking along, I do want you to notice how dangerous some of these spots are. And then what's scary about this one right over here is this washout has started and it's worked all the way back up to about, I would say, 20 foot from Carl's fence. And so that's not safe. If this continues to wash out, we're going to have major infrastructure issues. But what Mr. Jeremy would likely do is come over here to our neighbor's fence line. This is the fence line that runs across with Mr. Pete and Miss Terry over on the right side of our property. This is where we also already have a culvert, and that's really the only way that animals and tractors and other things can get across when we have flowing water. So I think that what Mr. Jeremy wants to do is try to straighten out everything over here. You see how it makes a really deep curve and whips around, and all that's wonderful. We also have our natural springs all flowing right through here. I don't think you can see on the camera, but I'm going to zoom in, and I want you to notice how wet it is. There's natural springs that flow from along this hillside down into the creek. You can even see the flow of water, which tells you how much water is actually flowing into here. Quite a bit. So I think that what we want Mr. Jeremy to do over here is dig this area out quite a bit deeper. We want to dig it out deeper. Hopefully our springs will keep filling it in and keep it nice and full. But we want him to straighten all of this out. Straighten it out so when we do have a flow of water coming out of the ponding area, flowing through, we'll have rock, which will make it sort of more of like a French drain, where you have big rock where the water can flow over the rock without moving our soil. And it will come straight through here. We think the tree can stay. We're going to fill all of this in. This will all be filled in. All of this dirt will be packed in over here onto the hillside to help kind of level all that out and cover the ruts and the holes and everything else that's beginning to form along that side. But over here we'll have a second pond that will not be near as big, but it will be a way to slow the water flow down, have a second pond, and that will have to build up to a certain level, where once the level gets to a certain depth, then it will flow through our second culvert. Now, this second culvert over here, it has already been buried, and there's quite a bit of debris inside of it. Mr. Jeremy will probably dig that out and reset it. It's a 20-foot culvert, and it's in good shape, but it does need to be reset. And then we will have, in essence, 2 places for our animals to cross. We'll have 2 ponds, a smaller pond over here, more of a freshwater drinking hole from all these natural springs, along with a pretty good sized pond over there. Not as big as the other side of the property, but still very nicely sized for animals to have a freshwater source. We'll take all of the dirt that we dig out, fill in over here. We'll also probably need some rock. And so that is the next project that we're looking at for this property. We think that this property will, as of right now, it's the home to all of our goats, our big birds, our rescued pigs, our rescue horses, and this is more of the rescue property for the rescued animals. And so we want to have a nice place for them. We will eventually have to, we will be moving Rita. You all know that pretty soon. But at some point, we're going to be bringing Tex and Santana back over here, where they will live out their days in retirement here on these particular pastures. So that is what I think the plan is. But before you can do a whole lot of movement with animals, you have to make sure you have a place for them to go where they're going to be safe. And that right there, friends, is not safe, especially at night, especially when they start running around and playing, when they start being mean to each other. So I will tell you one last thing, then I will let you go, I promise. We do not have a loafing shed for our donkeys. They can go in there with the goats, and they do. But they'll many times prefer not to go inside because it gets to be congested and crowded. So I told Jamie that I think this right over here, up here amongst these trees, where we're still on the hill. Hi, sweetie. Hi, sweet baby. Hi, Leonard. So we're still up on the hill. We have a little bit of an angle, an incline going downhill that I'll have to work on. But I think that this spot right here would be a wonderful place for a barn, a loafing shed type barn structure where the donkeys can come if they choose to in inclement weather, and they have a wonderful view of their pasture. Oh boy, here comes Rita. Hey, sweetie. You're like, you know what? I think this would be a nice place for a barn. I think I'm going to love it here, sweetie. The reason I like this place over here is you can see how shady it is right now. And this area stays shady year round. Not all of the trees will lose their leaves. The live oaks keep their leaves. And then we have the magnolia who keeps their leaves as well. So it's a beautiful spot. And so I think that the future projections of the work we're going to have to do over here to make this side of our pastures as beautiful and as life-sustaining for all of our rescues, as far as our littles and our middles go, that is some of the things that we have in the works. So, guys, I would love to hear your ideas, your thoughts, any suggestions. And then this is not going to happen anytime soon, but it is what I think we'll start saving for, which will be the next big project that we'll do here at the JL South. We're so blessed to have beautiful green grass. We have amazing shade, and this really is a remarkable property. Thank you all for watching. We love you so very much. We're blessed to have you. And Rita and I will catch you guys on the next video. Right, sweetie? But you don't want Lenny around? No Lenny, just you and me? Okay, Rita and I on the next video. Okay, sweetie, just you and me.
Don't let your troubles fester. Come watch Longhorn Lester.
Yeah, something like that.